Listen to the reed, how it tells a tale of separation. Rumi opens his greatest work, the Masnavi, with the cry of a reed flute torn from the reed bed. Its music is a lament for home. This is not merely poetic metaphor, it is the foundation of Rumi's view of the soul. We are not whole because we have forgotten where we came from. We are restless because we've wandered far from our source. That aching, that emptiness, it's not a weakness. It's a compass pointing home. What if your pain isn't a flaw, but a form of remembering? The longing inside you is not there to punish, it's there to awaken. Rumi says our soul cries just as the reed cries, and in that cry is beauty. Listen closely. Your yearning is not for things, or status, or success. It's for wholeness, for return. And the moment we realize this, the journey towards peace begins. The wound is the place where the light enters you. Rumi begins not with comfort, but with the truth of pain. He teaches that peace is not the absence of suffering, but the transformation of it. The wound, our brokenness, is not a flaw. It's a doorway. In our aching, there is an opening through which the divine can enter. This is the first key. Do not run from your pain, sit with it. Learn from it, let it soften you. In that softness, you will find peace. This being human is a guest house, Rumi says. Every day a new emotion arrives, joy, sorrow, jealousy, fatigue. Some are welcome, others unwanted. But all are visitors. Rumi urges us to greet each one with honor, even if they sweep your house empty of its furniture. Because they all come from beyond, sent to cleanse and prepare you for deeper peace. We suffer most when we resist what's visiting us. Don't get lost in your pain. Know that one day your pain will become your cure. What appears as suffering on the surface may be grace in disguise. Rumi teaches that form deceives. The bitter fruit today may ripen into sweetness tomorrow, when we stop labeling events as good or bad and instead ask, what is this teaching me? We make space for peace. We shift from judgment to understanding. You were born with wings. Why prefer to crawl? You are not broken, you are asleep. The soul, Rumi says, is already perfect. It has just forgotten. Every breath, every moment of stillness, every act of love is a tiny awakening. The world says strive, Rumi says remember. Peace begins the moment you realize you already are what you seek. Be like a tree and let the dead leaves drop. So much of our suffering comes from clinging to what was, to what could be, to what might happen. Rumi reminds us that nature never clings, it simply lets go. The tree does not hold onto autumn's leaves in fear. It trusts the cycle. So should we. When we return to the present moment, we come home. We stop grasping and begin to breathe again. Try not to resist the changes that come your way. Resistance is exhausting. It creates tension in the mind and body. Peace does not come from control. It comes from surrender. Not giving up, but giving in. When we stop fighting reality and start flowing with it, a quiet strength arises like a river. We become both soft and powerful. Rumi teaches that in surrender, there is freedom. Love is the bridge between you and everything. What you see in others reflects what lives in you. The peace you wish for in the world begins inside. Rumi invites us to look inward before we judge outward. If you want peace, cultivate love, not just for those who are easy to love, but especially for those who are not. In loving them, you heal the fractured parts of yourself. In silence, there is eloquence. Stop weaving and see how the pattern improves. We live in a noisy world, constant distraction, constant input. But Rumi speaks of a deeper wisdom, one that only rises in silence. Peace doesn't shout. It whispers in silence. The soul recalibrates. Make time each day to sit quietly. Let the noise settle. Listen not with your ears, but with your heart. A man once came to the door of truth and knocked. A voice from inside asked, "Who is it?" He replied, "It is I." The voice said, "There is no room here for two. Go away." The man left confused, but he began to reflect. Over time, his ego softened, his pride fell away. Years passed, he returned and knocked again. "Who is it?" the voice asked. "It is you," he whispered, and the door opened. This is the essence of surrender. When the ego dies, peace enters. When we stop insisting on I, we begin to taste the vastness of the divine.
Your task is not to seek for love, but to seek and find all the barriers you have built against it. We often try to add peace to our lives like an ingredient, but Rumi says peace is already within. It's the dust that must be wiped away. Every fear, every judgment, every bitterness we hold is like soot on a mirror. When we polish the heart through reflection and humility, clarity returns. I was raw, then I was cooked, then I burned. Rumi speaks of the soul's journey in 3 stages: first, raw and unaware, then tempered by life, softened by learning, finally burned in the fire of love and surrender, where ego is no longer needed. True peace isn't comfort. It's clarity after transformation. Just like gold must be purified by fire, the heart becomes radiant through trials. Don't get entangled in your own ego. Let yourself be silently drawn. The ego is not evil. It's just loud. It constantly compares, resists, judges. Peace doesn't arrive until the ego quiets. Rumi teaches that we must shift from doing to being, from needing to trusting. When we stop insisting on who we think we are, we begin to feel who we truly are. If you are irritated by every rub, how will you be polished? Every friction in life, a delay, a rejection, a heartbreak, is a chance to polish the heart, to empty it of pride, of expectation, of fear. The peace you desire isn't found by adding more, it's found by becoming less, simpler, quieter, truer. Sell your cleverness and buy bewilderment. Rumi's peace is not logical, it's mystical. It doesn't come through figuring everything out, it comes through surrender to the mystery. While the mind seeks control, the heart seeks union. In learning to sit with the unknown, we begin to glimpse a deeper truth, one that surpasses language. There is a voice that doesn't use words. Listen. There are truths that cannot be taught. Only felt. The heart has its own way of knowing. Rumi calls us to listen not with the mind, but with something older, wiser, deeper. The more we trust this voice, the more peace flows. With life as short as a half-taken breath, don't plant anything but love. Why waste time chasing answers to questions that don't matter? Why not plant love instead, knowing it grows even in the dark? Rumi's peace is found not in solving, but in serving, not in answers, but in awe. Listen to the silence. It has so much to say. Peace doesn't compete with noise, it waits beneath the chaos of thought. There is stillness. That stillness isn't empty, it's sacred. Begin your day not with scrolling or striving, but with silence there. Rumi says the soul begins to sing. Love is the whole thing. We are only pieces. At the heart of Rumi's teachings lies one ultimate truth. Only love is real, not the love that clings, but the love that frees, not the love of possession, but of presence. Peace is not found by withdrawing from life, but by loving it so deeply that you become one with it. Lovers don't finally meet somewhere. They've been in each other all along. We often look for completion in others, but Rumi says the beloved is within. The peace we seek through connection is already alive in our soul. It's a remembering, not a discovery. With life as short as a breath, don't wait to be fully alive. Rumi teaches us not to love cautiously, but to love like fire, fiercely, tenderly. Now in loving the world, even its sorrow, we are transformed. The fire of love doesn't destroy, it purifies. Don't seek love, become it. When you embody love, in how you speak, how you walk, how you see others, peace follows. Not because life becomes easier, but because you are rooted in something unshakable. Come, whoever you are. It doesn't matter. No matter how lost you feel, love calls you. Peace doesn't demand perfection. It only asks for presence. Return again and again and again. The circle of love is endless.
Don't get lost in your story. Look for the silence underneath the noise. Peace doesn't always come in flashes of insight or mystical moments. Rumi teaches that the divine dwells in the simple, in the repetitive, in the unnoticed. The soul does not need drama to awaken. It only needs attention. Let the beauty we love be what we do. There are hundreds of ways to kneel and kiss the ground. Washing dishes, walking to work, holding a child's hand, these are sacred acts. When done with awareness, they become prayer. Rumi invites us to dissolve the boundary between the spiritual and the mundane. Half of life is lost in charming others. The other half is lost in going through anxieties caused by others. Leave this play. You have played enough. Peace returns when we stop performing, stop explaining, stop seeking approval. Silence becomes our power when we learn to listen to life, to others, to the stillness between our thoughts. Try to be more like the night, silent and content with what it is. You don't need to improve yourself to be worthy of peace. You just need to return to what's real. Rumi says the moon doesn't try to be bright. It simply reflects the light. In presence, not perfection, we meet our wholeness. This moment is a gift. That's why it's called the present. When you take a breath and feel it fully, without rushing toward the next thing, something sacred happens. The mind quiets, the heart softens. Peace doesn't arrive, it's uncovered.
When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. There is a place beyond the dualities of good and bad, success and failure, control and chaos. Rumi invites us to live from that place, not by escaping the world, but by surrendering to a deeper rhythm that runs through everything. Try not to resist the changes that come your way. There is wisdom even in detours. We may not always see the meaning in the moment, but Rumi teaches that every bend in the path has a purpose. Trust is not blindness, it's a deeper vision. When the soul lies down in that grass, even the words each other don't make any sense. We are not separate. The illusion of separateness creates fear. Rumi teaches that we are part of one great river, sometimes flowing together, sometimes apart, always connected. When we trust that current, peace carries us. Try to be like snow, cold, silent, and falling softly on the world. Not every problem needs to be solved. Some only need to be softened. When we meet life with gentleness, we become agents of peace, not by force, but by grace. All religions, all this singing one song. Rumi's peace is not limited by doctrine. He saw the divine in every path to him. All spiritual traditions, when practiced in love, lead to the same truth. If you want peace, stop dividing. Listen for the song beneath the words. It's always been one. Wear gratitude like a cloak, and it will feed every corner of your life. Peace grows in grateful soil. Every breath, every sunrise, every kind word is a gift. Gratitude doesn't deny pain, it places it in context. Even in sorrow, there is something to thank. Gratitude transforms the ordinary into sacred.
Be like a candle. Burn yourself to give light to others. Fire in Rumi's poetry is not destruction, it is purification. The trials we face, the discomfort we flee from are often the very forces that burn away illusion. From that fire emerges a clarity deeper than comfort, an inner peace unshaken by outer storms. Knock, and he'll open the door. Vanish, and he'll make you shine. We don't find peace by adding more, but by subtracting what isn't real: titles, roles, attachments. Rumi's flame removes everything that hides the soul. Where there is ruin, there is hope for a treasure. We often fear breaking, but Rumi says break. The heart that breaks is the one that opens. In what falls apart, we find what matters most. I've been knocking from the inside. We search and search outside ourselves for truth, for love, for calm, but the call has always come from within. When the search turns inward, the noise fades and we remember we are home. I am not this hair. I am not this skin. I am the soul that lives within. When we stop identifying with the body, the past, or the role, we find freedom. The beloved we've been searching for is not separate. It is our truest essence. Be like a vessel empty, so you may be filled. Rumi teaches that fullness comes from emptiness. If your cup is already full, with opinions, anger, certainty, there's no room for peace. Empty it, let go of what you think you know, then watch what pours in. I died as a mineral and became a plant. Why should I fear death? Rumi's vision is vast. He saw life as a spiral, each death leading to a higher form. Physical death, ego death, all are transitions. If you trust the process, there is nothing to fear. Peace is knowing you are always becoming. This place is a dream. Then death comes like dawn, and you wake laughing. Don't take life too seriously. It's real, yes, but only for a while. Rumi encourages us to live lightly, to laugh, to forgive, to enjoy the play of existence. When you wake up, you'll realize you were safe all along. There is a voice that doesn't use words. Listen. Beneath the noise of the world, there is another voice, softer, wiser. Rumi says, listen. In that still, small voice is your peace, your purpose, your true self. I've been knocking from the inside. What you seek is not out there, it's inside. The divine lives within you, waiting to be noticed. Peace isn't something you find, it's something you remember. Let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. The final teaching is the simplest. Live with love, not for applause, not for reward, but because love is the rhythm of the universe. When we live from it, we are at peace.